Welcome back to another episode of the Log Talk Podcast with Pertnear Outdoors. This is Billy, and I am bringing to you the day 2 recap of our PA hunt. So I know I had mentioned on the last episode that I planned to have day 2 and 3, but as I was thinking was going to happen, we ran out of data on our podcast. We have a monthly allotted amount, and I had to cut this episode back a little bit shorter so I could get it in this month. And so the game plan will be this is going to be day 2, and then on the 1st of January, I will post up day 3's recap, and then immediately following the day after, so the 2nd or the 3rd, I'll post the final podcast of this series with our PA hunt. So we, again, if you didn't listen to the first episode, I recommend you do. We kind of break down the hunt as far as this is, we broke it down with my brother-in-law AJ, my buddy Mike, and Danny. The 4 of us kind of rode together all weekend, and we did a hunt breakdown in the first podcast of this series. So it'd be the last one, so episode 15. We kind of did a breakdown on our way down, so what the expectations were for the hunt, and then we had a recap of the first day, and that was when I shot my buck, was the first morning. So we've got that story in there. So check that out before you listen to this one if you haven't listened already, and then we will be, like I said, dropping day 3 on the 1st of January. So with this, and I mentioned on the last podcast that I'll be posting up on Instagram and Facebook will be kind of a screenshot of Onyx maps, and then I put in where all of us were sitting and where the walkers were to kind of give you a visual of some of these hunts that we're talking about. It's kind of hard when we're just talking to kind of get a visual of what the terrain looks like and how we're setting up, especially with having 13 or 14 guys on these drives. You got to really be pretty strategic in order to be as safe as possible and also to have the success. And having the numbers certainly showed to help this year, as we had a ton of opportunity and we saw a lot of deer. And day 2 certainly was a fruitful one, as you will hear. So let's enjoy the podcast. Thanks again for following along. We really appreciate it. It's been a fun, I guess, 4 months now with the podcast, and we're seeing it growing, and we appreciate your support. So please keep following along. Give us any feedback if you have any, and also make sure to share it with any of your friends and family that you think would enjoy it. That's how we want to grow this thing. Try to be as organic as possible, and I think there's a lot of folks out there that are just like us that enjoy these adventures and like hearing about them, and would like to maybe do some of the stuff in the future. So we're trying to kind of give an inside look at what this all looks like and how we're doing it. And we're really having a great time putting this content out for all of you to enjoy. So thanks again, and enjoy. Danny.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Keep that heat cranking, though. Don't fucking turn that heat down.
No, the problem is when you got that heat up, that happened yesterday. It was way too loud.
I don't give a shit if it's loud or not. I'm fucking cold.
You're yelling into the microphone.
It's cold, man. We just got in the truck.
You're fine.
Is this live?
This is live. Stop talking like this.
35 degrees and rain, the worst weather.
This beer in my hand is
Danny,
awful cold.
You run the show here today. You run the show.
I don't know if I like the idea of that.
You can run the show. You be the host.
So we had a good day, boys. What are your thoughts? Quick initial thoughts of the day?
Well, why don't you start, Richard? You're the one that fucking
summarize the day.
Started the day off hot.
Yeah, so I got dropped off, and I'm kind of on my own to work around. In PA here, they have some fenced-off areas where they're trying to just keep people out and keep everything out. And so I'm walking around this fenced-off area, and all the other guys are on the other side. And we're dropping down into this ravine, and
slippery.
I came over and met Billy on another hillside, and he's on a nice buck track. He thinks it's just walking, so I kind of backtrack to get where I'm still hunting up, and I get to the edge of this hillside and looking down, and there's a deer walking, and so I'm trying to put horns on it, and eventually I do, and looks like a pretty nice buck. So I just just immediately get jammed up. Like, all right. Deep breaths.
So Danny, I didn't even know you shot.
Yeah, I was the first shot of the day.
I was over on the ravine fighting with a cliff. So
you were probably a mile south of me. Okay. I would not be surprised if you couldn't hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Tard, you and Brad fucking cliffed down that mountain. It took you like 5
we'll
minutes
get there.
from the time we started.
Yeah. So,
AJ's microphone's a little quiet.
I'm looking for.
Is this better?
That's better. Yes.
Looking for some shooting lanes, and I finally get one. I get down on kind of I think I sat on my ass, and I'm kind of resting off my knees, but we're probably talking 200 yards, so I got steady and for me, steady is not real. I'm not real steady, but so
How many rounds
I got on it. Just one.
Oh.
He went booking after the first shot, just took off, and I actually lost him. I'm kind of looking for. He takes off, and I'm looking for shooting lanes, and I looked through my rifle scope, I think, at one point, and I just lost him. So I got down there and tracked him for solid 100 yards. There was snow down there, so I felt pretty good that I didn't hit him. I was right down to where he was walking and running, and not much else other than that. We continued on with the drive from there. So we get to the bottom, and we all start working up the other hillside. And I think Mr. Howlett here had some excitement. Whoa! Apparently Dallas wants to be on the podcast.
Dallas, you want to be on the podcast?
You have anything to say, Dallas?
I'd love to thank my sponsors, Bush Beer and Jack Daniels,
And Chevy.
Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Dallas wants to thank his sponsors, Bush Beer,
Nozzler.
Nozzler,
Yeah.
Chevrolet.
They don't wiggle when you hit them with a Nozzler. No, that should be their brand. They don't wiggle no more.
His buck didn't wiggle today.
I got your backpack. Is that yours laying up there?
I don't know, AJ. Was that my backpack laying back there?
Jimmy had your backpack.
Yes, and Jimmy's in the passenger seat, so
I put it in the truck.
Yeah,
Well, thank you,
he-
Dallas.
Whatever it is, somebody left the
good
bag.
luck. Where are you headed?
We're going out the other way. I want to check out that spot down at the end of.
Yeah, just keep feeding them. Yeah.
Real good podcast here.
Yeah.
Just real great podcast here so far.
Yeah, Jim was getting the meat out of your back, so I put it on the back of Dale's
Oh.
tailgate.
Yeah, I just saw it in the back of a bed of a truck, so I figured it was all good. So, whatever. So, Michael.
We might want to start this over.
No, this is gold.
great
Yeah, this is-
radio.
This is what the people want, you know?
Well, so my morning started with a little bit of confusion because everyone was shifting around. I'm not as familiar with these Pennsylvania hills.
So who was setting us up?
Well, it was mostly William Robert Harvey. He
Yeah, Slicky was a little turned around this morning.
little turned around. I think everybody was a little bit turned around when we got up top of the hill.
I was turning around all day.
And so I start heading down the hill, and it is steep. I mean, you could hardly walk. It was insane. And as soon as I get over one of the big crests, I lose all radio communication, and everyone's changing their plans. People are shifting over, and I couldn't hear a damn thing. So I just continued down. By the time I got down to the bottom of the hill, I was absolutely whooped. I was sweating, shedding layers. And then I look up, and I got to go straight vertical for about another mile and a half.
Yeah, it was a great plan, really, this morning. We took 7 guys, and we went straight down a hill
And then
just to go
straight back up.
a hill on the other side to where our sitters were.
Did you hear Brad over
That
the
was
radio?
pretty good.
Yeah, they go, well,
Brad asked what to do, and they said to start going up the other hill. Brad goes,
oh my.
yeah, oh dear.
Is that what he said?
He goes, oh my.
and then like 10 minutes later, we asked for an update on him, and Brad goes, I'm on the bottom, walking the bottom. Mike and Tard are up the side of the hill. Well, he got out of walking
Yeah.
up the hill.
So anyway, I hike up half of that hill, and I was just cursing every step because I didn't have a damn idea what I was supposed to be doing, where I was going. I couldn't talk to anybody. Tard was pissed at the bottom of the hill, so he just trucked it all the way to the top, and So I was walking around, and I look at the GPS, and I realized I was a little bit ahead of Brad. And so I held up for a little bit, radioed down to him, and lo and behold, stood there for about 10 minutes. Next thing you know, I see 2 bucks running up behind me. And so
They were coming from like Brad, right?
yeah, they were coming from Brad. He pushed them right to me. So I'm standing there. I see a little split horn, little 4-pointer, and swing the scope back over to the other one. And he's running up the hill, and I'm following him. And just as I shoot, a tree comes into my scope, and I just see bark flying everywhere. And then he goes up a little bit farther. He was probably, I thought he was 140, 150, but I think he was only 100 after I paced it off. So I let a couple rounds go, and I put it right on his ankle and blew his hoof right off. And so he kept running.
So that's what you were aiming for?
He pushed him right to Dallas and slowed him down for Dallas. And Dallas put 3 into him, or 3 at him, put 1 into him, knocked him right down. And beautiful little buck. He dropped one horn a while ago, and then the second one when he shot it, he dropped the second one.
So that was a funny one. We think it had 1 horn when you were shooting at it.
We know it.
No.
Oh, we know it had 1
We
horn.
know, well, no, I had no idea if it was a full rack or half rack. I couldn't tell from where I was at. I was shooting uphill, at least 100 yards.
When
And
Dallas shot
Dallas, he didn't know either, but when he got there, it was all scabbed over. The other side was all scabbed over. So he'd been running with a half a rack for a while.
Dallas hit it, it hit the ground, and the other side popped off.
it. Yeah.
Yes, correct. And he was laying on it. So he walked up to it and he goes, "Oh no, this looks like a slick top." And he was laying on the horn.
It's a good buck. Like that half of the rack, you put that inside of the buck that Brad shot.
Yeah,
It's freaking dandy.
I mean, it's a great buck.
it was 10 point, half a 10 point, and beautiful buck. Really nice.
It's really funny because that happened to me last year. I shot my buck. I know it's a buck. I know it's got 3 on the side, and I'm walking up to it, and it has nothing on it. It's just it's a flat top, and I'm like, did I shoot? You don't know if you're like imagining things or what the heck happened, but
It's crazy.
yeah. The horns were there.
So I was pretty tuckered out, real discouraged, just wanted a snack, but had to keep pushing, and real skeptical of what the heck we were doing, just climbing these mountains. And the next thing you know, I rattled off 3 rounds, and a little bit later we had a dead deer. So it was a good day.
Did you have snacks with you today?
Yeah, I did, but when I was climbing vertically mountains and people are like, "Hey, hurry up, you're way behind," and like
There's no time to relax.
there's no time to sit there and grab a snack.
So what was your thoughts of seeing your first deer quartered?
It was a violent and efficient process.
What's the first one you saw Sean?
Or
right?
specifically,
Yeah,
Sean,
doing it.
Mr. T, just flinging hide and meat
Yep.
and fat everywhere.
It was highly efficient. It took 33 minutes and 28 seconds front to back, and we were sitting there chatting too. We tried some new tools. It was quite the experience.
Yeah, your hatchet got a nice workout.
Yeah. Brought the hatchet, and
Speaking of the tools, John has one of those. It's a rope
Wire
chainsaw,
saw?
like a wire saw, bone saw.
a rope
It's
chainsaw.
like $7 on Amazon. That thing. I have a video. I'm gonna post it later. It is like.
Zipped right
Oh
through
my
it.
god! It went through that leg, like I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. He got through a leg bone with that thing. That's pretty slick.
That's awesome.
Was it piano wire like the mob used back in the day?
I don't really know what it
Piano
was.
wire
I didn't get
might
too
be.
close to it.
So then, anything else exciting happened for you, Michael, today?
Oh yeah, I saw a bunch of doe. I could have lit up before doe. Yeah, just a great day. After I got on the other side of the hill, I was hanging out, had a nice little lunch, sat down, got cozy. I could have lit up a few doe. It was a great day. Couldn't have been better.
We switching over to AJ now.
Yeah, it's AJ's turn.
Yeah, AJ, you had quite the day, AJ.
Actually, it was very uneventful until the last 10 minutes of our drive, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was quite the last end of your day.
So, towards the end of the last drive, I'm packing up to head out. Brian, I'm thinking, is following the road, which is probably, 50 yards above me. I'm going to meet up with him. So I grab my pack, I turn around, I look up on the road, and I hear somebody, it sounded like somebody walking on the road towards me. So I see a deer body instead. I'm looking for horns, couldn't see any horns at first. Pull my scope up, my scope's fogged, can't see through the scope. So I take my scope down, I look again, and I see horns. By the time I see the horns, he's taking off towards Jim, who just got a buck. And I had no real shot with him with a fogged up scope.
So was that the second one that Jim saw?
Yeah.
Huh? So he said it was a nice buck.
I yelled at Jim that he's got another one coming at him. He went within 15 yards of Jim.
Oh, wow.
And then headed down the hill, and we think that's the one that Brad shot.
So yeah, we're just
Jim said it was
wasn't
not.
sure if.
So
we cut a big track that left the woods and crossed the logging road there, and it crossed between where Jim shot his deer and where Brad shot his deer.
So there might have been another buck.
So we could have saw another buck, and it could have been a different one than what Jim saw, because Jim was kind of explaining this deer, because he's told me 15 yards from him.
I mean, that's close.
Yes.
He said it was not Brad's buck.
He was explaining it as like out and around his buck, and he shot a really nice
nice.
It's a very nice 8-point.
Yeah.
And he's explaining it to us as an even bigger deer than that. So we're not sure if it was 3 bucks that we saw on this last drive or 2 bucks, but we killed 2 out of the 3.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
3 for the day.
So we got 3 bucks today, and so Dallas shot that one.
3 nice bucks, beautiful bucks.
So at the end of that drive, one of the bucks went to Brad, and Brad ended up a beautiful, perfect shot on him. The deer was in a clear cut. Look at those rubs.
Yep, I was just seeing them.
I mean, so Brad, was in an awesome spot right at the top of that clear cut in those hemlocks, and there was a group of does that came in, and then that buck just kind of hunkered down and just kind of sneaking in through there with where the does were. And he had a perfect. His setup was absolutely perfect for that scenario, and one shot he dropped that deer.
So we accidentally went up that logging road. He was up that logging road?
Yeah. Well, he was down. He was, where we accidentally went that road.
Yeah.
He was down to the left when we were walking that road. He was down to the left in there.
Okay.
In that open clear cut area. Michael.
Yeah. So I guess so we can paint a picture for the listeners from New York. So this is a worldwide podcast, so it can be. Yeah. But as we go through, hunting here, I think I kind of set my sights a little bit lower on, what kind of rack we're going to see, what kind of deer we're going to be shooting at, and all 3 of these bucks were Western New York shooters for sure. I mean, they're beautiful bucks. We've seen a lot running through the woods that are smaller or so, but these were all big, nice, big dark Pennsylvania bucks.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to lay that out. So today was maybe a day. This is my 3rd year. I don't know if we've ever had a day like this. I know we've never had a day like this in the 3 years I've been coming on this trip. So
the last drive last year was close.
So we never went back to the trucks for lunch. It was a full day of. I put my Onyx tracker on at the start of the day when I got dropped off at 7:30 a.m. and I had 9 miles from that truck all the way out to our second drive, which was probably 3. I don't know. It was a lot. We did a lot of walking today. Everybody did. We talked about it before. We got a bunch of old guys with us. It's lesson learned. Pack lunch with you.
For sure.
Or pack enough food for lunch, and I don't know. I think we might start doing this a lot more often.
I think we should.
That's the way it should be done. Yeah. The time is wasted at the trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Just wasted.
I think
it's a shame.
I think one of the reasons we saw as many big bucks today as we did is because we got as far from the trucks as we could. I don't think we've ever hunted that far from the trucks off.
So where we finished the last drive back to the trucks was what, 2.5 miles on that road?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, just under 3, yeah.
So, I mean, an area where hardly anybody. Is there a surprise in there?
I don't know what you mean.
Surprise.
Just curious.
I don't know.
I think there might be.
I didn't get one.
Here, reach in.
Yeah. Everybody's hands are just avoiding it. No. I'm good.
You know, the funny thing is I didn't even realize that until I.
We'll have to drop that present off in somebody's 30 pack when we get
I
back.
think that's what I did. That's what I did at the cabin this morning. I put that in the. So we've got some. AJ, did you ever? You were kind of a little sketchy on that last night, AJ. Did you
I
drink
drank
that
it
whole
all.
thing?
I drank it.
We figured we'd introduce a little something new this year by buying a 6-pack of Smirnoff Ice and trying to ice everybody. Oh, Michael, you just iced yourself.
Mike.
Did you just ice yourself?
Yeah, I went.
On purpose?
Yeah, let's just take a little tasty.
Tasty, yeah.
I
Is it
think
like
we
a Truly?
need to pull over and he needs to get down on one knee. and do
Yeah.
it.
Natural lemon lime flavor.
Do you want us to pull over and you get down under the knee? Okay. He's gonna sip it like a
Oh,
gentleman.
I forgot about the one knee thing.
Or he's just
Yeah,
gonna.
you're
Sorry.
supposed to.
Oh, he's just- I
he's
didn't
taking
know
it to Pound Town.
Yeah.
Good, oh boy.
Is that
That's
gone?
impressive.
Wow.
Well done, Michael. So, I mean, I think that AJ's pretty much cleared up his story. You know, he's a deer whisperer. They just walk right to him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, use his scent control.
There's no threat. They don't feel any threat.
I'm just gonna bring my bow. I'm more accurate
I'm
with
telling
that.
you should bring
I'm
your
within
bow.
range all the time.
So AJ's there. He had a good day. And then
No,
least
I'm
you
gonna
saw
say
so my day was pretty uneventful. I knew that I wasn't really going to shoot unless somebody needed, you know, if there was a wounded buck, I would have shot. But
You
I
have
have my doe tag, but we were so far from the truck. If I would have shot a doe, I would have
Yeah,
been
no
the
one
least
would be
favorite
happy with
guy
Yeah.
around. So tomorrow is a new day. It's Saturday, last day of the trip. It's like I gotta shoot a doe.
I think tomorrow I don't foresee doing what we did today, unless Dallas takes us on another adventure.
I think there's gonna be an adventure tomorrow.
Dallas has something planned.
I think Dallas is gonna
Oh,
Group-
saving the best for last.
Group thoughts on today versus yesterday.
Oh.
It was definite type 2 fun. It sucked
Today
today,
sucked,
but we got into a lot of bucks today.
I like them both. I mean, I think it's it was a good strategy by Dallas to do the first day that way and then do it the second day here. I don't think we always have to do the same thing,
Yeah.
I
the
agree.
same type
Yeah, mixing it up
all
I
3
think
days.
definitely helped. And we've got a really good idea like where the deer are hanging now. Both days we've gotten into them like
Yep.
heavy. I mean, they're
In the woods. Yep.
in the woods. Yeah, where are the deer? They're in the woods.
Honestly, in my opinion, we could nix Friday's hunt. I would rather go not see another road, not see another truck, just go out in the woods and
You mean
just sit
Thursday?
there and huff it. Yeah, and
You mean
stay
Thursday's hunt.
Thursday's hunt. I'm sorry, get my days screwed up. I would rather just go out and not come back for lunch. I mean that I think it was a waste of time. And
Yeah.
you know, we were out in the thick of it. You're prepared for the day. You're out there. You're totally immersed in it. That's the way you do it.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I,
would
mean,
agree.
I just meant the more of those ravines or those.
we
those
had we
favors.
have to
Still
do those
doing
hunts.
those.
You just
Yeah. Just don't stop for them. You know, don't stop and eat like we did.
So
Continue
Michael,
it on.
this is day 2, and you put on all 9 miles yourself today.
Oh, good, way
What-
more than that. Well,
so what
I don't
is-
know, maybe not, because it wasn't too far from the top to the bottom.
Right.
But it was vertical,
Vertical
and then
feet.
it was straight vertical, going right back
You
up.
might have done like 60 vertical
I'll do
miles
that.
today.
I'll do that hike. I'll do that hike again next year. I ain't gonna do it tomorrow, but I'll do it next year.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your thoughts? You're throwing a backpack on. You're hunting totally different. You're carrying packing meat out today.
Bring it on. Love it.
You loved it. It makes me happy to see new people come down the trip and enjoy it.
That's pretty awesome.
I like pushing a lot better than sitting. I don't know. Where I was sitting today, you had nice shooting lanes. It was pretty wide open. The other places that I had sat, it was pretty limited, you know, with shooting lanes, and it's pretty thick in some areas. So I like the.
You like being on the move.
Both drives today were very very pleasant.
Yeah.
challenging but pleasant.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we went off on this kind of adventure today, and I was a little worried that after yesterday we were just gonna kind of. Sometimes we like to just double back and do the same drives again and again, and we've done it before and it's been successful. And I was like, I just don't want it to get old, because we come down here for the adventure, and like I like seeing new country and doing different drives and different things like that. And like it was just today was awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's part of hunting for me. It's truly the sport of it. It's not necessarily just filling the fridge and making sure you got enough meat. It's the sport of it, and the adventure is supreme.
I hope you have room for that hoof in your freezer when you get home.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with that?
I think we're gonna eat it tonight. I think we're gonna try and get some meat off of it, throw it on the grill. It should be fresh. There's nothing better than throwing some fresh venison on the grill.
Fresh venison foot.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd probably sous vide that thing.
No, I might make one of those coat hooks out of it. You've seen those?
You should. I'm serious.
It's just a beautiful. I have to run it by my wife.
That's a nice. That's a 3-year-old foot.
I got free reign in my office, my man cave office. So I might get a hoof on the wall.
All right, I think we're pretty good here. Anybody got any last thoughts they want to share with the group?
I don't know that.
There's gonna be a lot of alcohol drank tonight.
Yeah, that Smirnoff Ice went down pretty
Yeah, I'm
smooth.
definitely having a shower beer. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, shower beer.
100% shower beer tonight.
So here's the difference from today and yesterday. Yesterday, everyone, the hot water tank was empty, and I wasn't about to have a cold shower. Today, I need a goddamn shower.
You can go first, Michael.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Good.
Feed
Cheers.
Feed 'em.